Okay, this is going to be a review of WWN's, the World Wrestling Network's Mercury Rising 2016 Super Show. This show took place last year during WrestleMania weekend in Dallas, Texas. And some people that I talked to thought that this was the very best show from last year's WrestleMania weekend. They thought some of the best matches from last year's weekend took place on this show. Some people thought it was better than the Ring of Honor shows, the Evolve shows, and then many people thought it was better than WrestleMania itself as far as the actual wrestling goes. With this show right here, it's very inconsistent. It's a little bit on the long side. It's a super show, which means it's not an Evolve show, but WWN Live. They're the company that distributes Evolve. I mean, if you want to watch Evolve on internet pay-per-view, you have to go to WWNlive.com. They also used to distribute Dragon Gate USA. I believe they still distribute Full Impact Pro, Shine, which is a women's promotion. So you have all these different promotions that are a part of this show. So it's very inconsistent. It starts off with a bang, ends with a bang. There's some good stuff in the middle, but for the most part, I would not recommend sitting through the entire show. I would just watch certain individual matches if you ever get a chance. But yeah, let's get right down to it. We start off with Zack Sabre Jr. taking on that young knockout kid, Chris Hero, two of the best wrestlers in the world in a Best in the World Challenge Series match here. And I thought this was pretty awesome. Awesome stuff. This is not the first time I've seen Zack and Hero wrestle together. They did wrestle on PWG's Mystery Vortex 3. I actually like the PWG match a lot better than this, but this was still awesome though. This had a different feeling to it. The ending to that Mystery Vortex match was incredible, what I remember, with Zack making Hero tap out. This time Hero goes over Zack. I don't know, does anyone know if these guys have ever wrestled besides the PWG match and this match right here? I wonder if they wrestled the third match. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, Zack was able to do his thing despite Hero being a little bit oversized. I was still able to bust out a lot of nice submissions and really work the fingers and really try to, hurt his hand. Just some nice moves where he was trying to get leverage for the pinfalls. But overall, this was about making Hero look dominant. Hero really looked dominant here. Really, that was a little bit surprising about the match. When Hero did go over, you're like, wow, he really annihilated Zack. So there wasn't as much back and forth as you would expect between these two. But, for Hero to pull off a match like this, he's got a lot of skill. Every one of his elbows, his spinning Yakuza kicks, it looks very stiff, very painful, very dreadful. For him to make it look this real and for not to give Zack a concussion, it just takes a lot of skill. So it definitely have a lot of respect for Hero. I just want to talk about Hero's weight for an issue. It's not a big deal for me. I think it gives him, like I said a long time ago, I think it gives him like an added edge because he could be like that bully that doesn't take shit from anyone. And at this point in Hero's career, he doesn't really need to be in shape anymore. He's already proven himself. So he doesn't really need to care what people think about his physique. To me, if this is what's going to keep Hero off of drugs and painkillers to be able to eat whatever he wants, then it's fine. And to be completely honest with you, I think it's a little bit overrated to be jacked up and in perfect shape to be a great wrestler. It's not really the case. And Hero's proven it that you could still be one of the best wrestlers in the world and be somewhat fat and out of shape. And it's not always a negative to be, fat, especially when you're a proven commodity like Chris Hero. One of the most famous rap lines ever is "Gangsters don't die, they get chubby and move to Miami." So being chubby and being fat, sometimes it's a sign of accomplishment. It's a sign of, I don't need to do it. I've been there, done that. I can eat whatever I want, but I'm still one of the best wrestlers in the world. So I just think that's an interesting way of looking at it. Hero is still one of the best. And after this match is over, he said, "Best in the world is played out. I'm the greatest of all time." So I agree with that. I think Best in the World has been played out for a really long time. If you think about it, Danielson came up with it first. Then Jericho kind of bit it from Danielson. And then all of a sudden, when Punk cut the epic promo, he added Best in the World in there as well. I think Punk got away with it because it was such a groundbreaking thing that he did. It was kind of, oh, all right, Punk's the best in the world. And then when Ring of Honor started doing the Best in the World pay-per-views with, Jay Lethal, Adam Cole, and Jay Briscoe, I just think the term became so overused that it became played out. But I think, was this before Muhammad Ali? I think this was right before Muhammad Ali passed away. So Hero actually took one out of the book and called himself the greatest of all time here. I think you could argue that Hero is one of the greatest of all time on the indies, at least. So there we go with that. Next up, you have Drew Gulak taking on Fred Yehi. Respect his earned match right here. You've seen Gulak in the Cruiserweight Classic. This is very ground and pound, very submission oriented. It had a tough time following the previous match, but I respect what they did here. There was a lot of good selling, a lot of good grappling. Everything was pretty much on the mat. Good finish, but I would say with this match right here, it's not going to be entertaining for everybody, but I was pretty impressed with Freddie Yehi. I thought this definitely had a different feel, and already you could tell that Evolve has kind of adapted kind of gone away from the PWG formula of a lot of high spots, and more. It seems like their identity right now is more mat-based wrestling, more of an MMA style. And then we get another one right here. We have Matt Riddle taking on Tracy Williams. I thought this was excellent. I thought this was the third best match of the night. It seems like Matt Riddle, out of a lot of the MMA guys I've seen, his transition to pro wrestling has gone great. I'm not a huge fan of Ken Shamrock. I wasn't a huge fan. I mean, I thought Daniel Puder was an awful wrestler. So it's not an easy transition to make the transition from mixed martial arts to pro wrestling. But this Matt Riddle guy, I think he's awesome. Him and Tracy Williams had a great match here. Just the facial expressions on some of the submissions were really believable. It looked really painful, and the crowd loved this. There was a lot of respect for this match. No high spots, all submission wrestling, all just grappling and some nice strikes, some nice hard hitting suplexes. But I thought this was awesome stuff. Really, really a much better showing from Matt Riddle, in my opinion, than his Bola match with Kyle O'Reilly. Next up, you had Ethan Page taking on Anthony Nese. The card kind of took a little bit of a dip here. I just felt this kind of brought me back to some of those dark Evolve days when I used to order Evolve on iPay-per-view, and he featured that dark, dead crowd, no one really giving a fuck. It kind of had a little bit of that going on here. I think it's tough with hardcore matches and anything goes matches. I just get a feeling a lot of the crowd and a lot of people probably watching the show aren't really, up to date with the storyline. So to have a match like this, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of tough to get invested in it as to why these guys are hitting each other with weapons. But the crowd definitely woke up for one spot. They had what did they have? They had two chairs connected to a ladder, and there was a power bomb on a ladder. They did some nice suplexes off the top turnbuckle. So the guys did work hard. I just felt like this really dragged in the beginning, but definitely good effort from both guys. Next I'll talk about is the FIP World Championship Fatal 4-Way match. I didn't know, but the FIP title was actually defended in China a year and a half ago. Basically with FIP right here, it definitely seems like a lot of these guys are, weekend warriors, still trying to, get better and make a name for themselves. I don't know. This is a mixed bag of talent. I was surprisingly did enjoy this match, though. You had Caleb Konley, the champion, defending against the FIP Florida Heritage champion, Maxwell Chicago, Gary J, and Jason Cade. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are unfamiliar with these guys, but this is a mixed bag. Half of it was serious, half of it was comedy. One of these guys was actually wearing a suit and did some funny things out there. It was a nice, pleasant surprise. The execution of the finish and some of the some of the actual serious wrestling was not that bad here. So definitely a nice little fatal 4-way match with a little bit of everything in it. So I think everyone should enjoy it. I just wouldn't take it too seriously. Next up, we have the Evolve Championship match. We have Timothy Thatcher defending against Sami Callahan. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Timothy Thatcher. I heard a lot of comparisons to Bryan Danielson. I saw his match in PWG last year. I think it was against Biff Busick. I just don't know if it was I just didn't think it was a great showing from him. And he's going up against Sami Callahan, who's been pretty heavily criticized since coming back from the WWE developmental. I don't know. I've just heard some people, a lot of people were just kind of negative on some of his performances lately, but it's kind of tough to judge Sami in this match. This was tough because Timothy Thatcher, it looked like he might have broken his arm before this match. severely suffered some damage to the arm, so he couldn't use his right arm. So give him credit. He looked like he was in a lot of pain out there. This isn't the first time I've seen an Evolve match where the guy really had to suck it up with a devastating injury and get through the match. I believe Johnny Gargano had the same thing happen to him, like at Evolve 10, I believe it was. But Thatcher against Callahan, a lot of respect for this match here. Callahan actually busted out the Lungin' Dungeon, Nigel McGuinness style, and tried to make Thatcher tap out. He just looked like he was in a lot of pain. Just a lot of real selling going on here. So Thatcher couldn't use his arm, so he had to use his feet and his head. A lot of headbutts here. Just a brutal match, and a serious gut check for Timothy Thatcher. I'd like to see Thatcher wrestle healthy and see what he could really do in the future. So when we move on to the main event, this is the reason to buy the show. I would say the opener between Hero and Zack, Matt Riddle and Tracy Williams, and then this match right here. Those are the three main reasons to check out this show. The six-man tradition continues. 10 years ago, this marks the 10th year anniversary of the original Dragon Gate six-man at Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor 1 back in April of 2006. So they haven't been doing them every single year. There were some years where they didn't do one. I believe 2009 they did not do one. Maybe 2014 or 2013 they might have skipped doing one. But here we go again. For the first couple of years, it was primarily Dragon Gate guys, but as the years went on, it was tougher and tougher to get Dragon Gate guys to appear on the six-mans. Is this the best six-man that they've done? No, that's saying too much. I mean, there's no way that another six-man is going to compete with some of the Dragon Gate ones. The best six-mans were the first Dragon Gate 1, a Supercard of Honor 1, and then I would say the Supercard of Honor 3 Dragon Gate 1 was pretty awesome as well. Those would be the two gold standards, in my opinion. But this was pretty good. I wouldn't say this was the worst one. This will probably rank somewhere in the middle. So you have Kota Ibushi, Johnny Gargano, and T.J. Perkins, the current Cruiserweight champion, taking on Will Ospreay, Tommy End, and Marty Scurll. So the theme of this was Evolve 1 versus Team Europe. So Kota Ibushi, Gargano, and T.J. Perkins, they were all on the very first Evolve show. It's funny. They were, looking back on it, it's pretty cool that they still had all these guys available to represent the very first Evolve show, which took place back in January of 2010. And, Ospreay, Tommy End, and Marty Scurll, they're all from either England or I believe Tommy End's from Germany. Ospreay and Scurll, I believe they're from England, if I'm not mistaken. But, just awesome stuff. I thought the MVP of the match was probably Ospreay. Obviously, you have Kota Ibushi in there, so you expect a lot of amazing things from him. I thought Gargano looked amazing here. Gargano's at this time he was able to wrestle. I believe still wrestle for Evolve and NXT. So it's pretty interesting about how that situation's going right now, business-wise. Ospreay. The most memorable spot of the match, they had one guy double teaming, hanging up for like a gorilla press, and then Ospreay jumped up and did an ace crusher from the top turnbuckle to the guy. That was really awesome. And then there was a spot where Kota Ibushi and Ospreay were brawling on the balcony. There was really no lighting there, but because everyone has a camera and was taking pictures, it didn't look awful. And both guys did a double moonsault at the same time off the top of the balcony. And then it came down to like a one-on-one confrontation between Ibushi and Ospreay, which is pretty awesome. Tommy End looked good here. Tommy End's more of a bigger guy. He doesn't really fit the mold of the kind of guy you would put in a six-man match. But I thought he looked good. He busted out a beautiful moonsault, was able to keep up with these guys hold for hold. And it was kind of weird because Tommy and Marty were more submission-oriented wrestler, especially Marty Scurll. He's more of a submission-oriented wrestler, but he fit in really well here. I thought T.J. Perkins looked awesome. He busted out a 450, a lot of nice moves here. So this is just one of those matches where you just put on and you try to get like a pro wrestling high. It's kind of like people get their fix. You don't really look too much into it about the selling and the psychology. It's just awesome, crazy spots, just beautiful sequence after beautiful sequence. It's just pretty amazing stuff. So I wouldn't say it's the best six-man that they've done at WrestleMania weekend. I wouldn't say it's the worst. I think this is probably better than like Dragon Gate versus Ronin from 2011 and maybe some of the other ones as well. But Yeah, definitely check it out. I really enjoyed it. Let me know, guys. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of the indies over the last couple years, maybe 2015, 2016, but let me know, like, within the last year, maybe 18 months, what would you say was the best indie promotion? Would you say it's PWG? Would you say it's Ring of Honor? Or would you say it's Evolve? It just seems to me like Evolve has really caught on. You know, it seems to me like they've been really presenting a lot of intriguing matchups that, you know, people want to see. You know, from Hero to Zack to Marty Scurll, to Will Ospreay, and Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. I know they did that at Evolve during WrestleMania weekend. So let me know what out of the three major indie promotions, let me know which one, in your opinion, has had the best product within the last year and a half. So that's pretty much it, guys. Mercury Rising 2016. Really good stuff on the show, but not a great show from top to bottom. So check it out.